Replay here from Pigman 202 and NC Grandfather Girthquake. And I have been mentioning on live streams recently, but Pigman has really been enjoying Troglodons of various kinds. Usually Skink Oracles, just because they're not feral and have better stats and stuff. Looks like today he is going for a feral Troglodon. So versus the Tomb Kings, traditionally thought to be a bad matchup for the Lizardmen. They do have a staunch Saurus front line for some serious staying power. A feral Troglodon, that impressive 800 missile strength with bonus versus large of 150. Good arm piercing. Slann Mage Priest of Fire, do like this versus the Tomb Kings especially, just Burning Head. Even before the new Slann lores came out and people started experimenting around, I did take a Slann Mage Priest of Fire in this matchup. Some Feral Cold ones for a little bit of Cav presence, and then a single Ancient Salamander to do a little bit of kiting. The other side for the Tomb Kings, we do have two Carrion for a little bit of backline harassment, some Skeleton Horsemen, front line of Skeleton Warriors, and some Spearmen in there. A couple of Ushabti Great Bows, one of which is the Chosen of the Gods, regular melee Ushabti 2, the Eyes of the Desert Sporkle Stalker, and Ark in the Black with Spirit Leech and Fate of Buna. Salamander and the Troglodon currently dueling with the Ushabti Great Bows, and there's no healing on this Lizardman build at all, so everything is as healthy as it's ever going to get, which I guess is why he maybe went for Saurus, is for something a little more stalwart in the front line if you can't just heal up whatever you want to. Though I am surprised the Feral Troglodons are trading this well with the Ushabti Great Bows, considering those guys should be firing back at them. The Salamander's not letting him get to safety, and melee Ushabti are also out here. Getting some good hits on the Feral Troglodon, it'll probably want to fall back. Slann is moving up, and a nice Burning Head goes down the line. Really crushes those Skeleton Warriors, and even attempts to curve into those Skeleton Spearmen, doing a little tickling of damage there, but it's fine. I also suspect we'll see Banishment on this blob pretty soon, but a Fate of Buna is out from Arkin onto those Saurus Warriors, trying to get rid of them nice and early. But I wonder if he should maybe just be spamming Spirit Leeches onto like the Troglodons and stuff, because there is no healing. Seems like he's just going to get kited at that point, but apparently worried enough about these Saurus that are getting through his front line. One Saurus Spear is already pushed off just due to massive effort from the Ushabti and the Skeleton front line. The other Saurus Warrior is taking a lot of damage from that Fate of Buna, but more Saurus are streaming in. There's so many of them. Let's see, 2 routed, 3 here, 2 more there, so that's like 7. There are like 7 Saurus in this build, good lord. Anyway, the Troglodon plus the Salamander have gotten rid of this Ushabti Great Bow. It is doomed. There's no way it's going to rally from this point. As the Ancient Salamander continues to try and poke at it a little bit. Sporkle Stalkers have also taken about a third of their HP. Skeleton Horsemen running around, but they don't have a lot to disrupt, right? They're going to try and get rear charges here on Saurus, but that's a tall order, honestly. There are 3 Skink Skirmishers they could try to run down, but I don't know. Skink Skirmishers are a nice little hybrid unit, they'll be fine. And another nasty Burning Head go down the line, poking down some of the Tomb Kings units. Looks like it was not overcast, otherwise it would have done significantly more damage as Saurus surround the Ushabti here. Balance of power is about even. I guess I don't know. I feel like the Lizards are crushing it, but I guess Saurus cost a good amount of money as a Banishment hits these clumped up Skeleton Spearmen. Saurus cost a good amount of money, and they're not getting out of this scot-free. As we did mention, 2 of them are routed off already. A couple are back in the fight, but out of the 7 starting Saurus, we have like 3 left with a bunch of HP. So that's a lot of money to lose. Ushabti Summon is out right on top of the Feral Troglodon. He can rampage. Now, if the Slann is cold-blooded up, he can bail that guy out, obviously, but we'll see how that goes. Blood Stature Despite plus Skirmishers doing a lot of damage to Skeleton Horsemen who are trying to get away from those Feral Cold ones streaming in at them. And the Chosen of the Gods have been firing this whole time. They're almost out of ammo, but they've probably gotten a good amount of value out. Sporkle Stalkers need to find a home, probably shooting at that Feral Troglodon if they can. And where's the Salamander? There he is. Surrounded by Horsemen and Carrion, and now even Ushabti, so he should take a good deal of damage. That'll be a bit of a problem for him. I hear another Burning Head. It went down the line of those Skeleton Spearmen that were trying to reinforce the fight. Now, these Eyes of the Desert are moving up. Bounce power is slightly Lizardmen favored, and there is also a free full health Ushabti summon out from the Tomb Kings, so bounce power will get a little bit worse for them here. But the Slann's been spamming out Burning Heads and such, so I don't know how much Winds of Magic he really has left. And then after that, the bounce power is going to be artificially inflated by Slans because they're terrible melee combatants and whatnot. Skeleton Horseman and Carrion not going to let this Ancient Salamander get away. Though they might want to focus their efforts instead on chasing down the Saurus they have routed off, rather than letting those guys come back. Because they're not going to get that much damage on the Ancient Salamander. Spork Stalker's still trying to get shots off onto the Troglodon. They're mostly obstructed now as the Chosen of the Gods Ushabtis will move up. They're now just half-assed melee Ushabtis. A little Fireball will try and poke the Eyes of the Desert, but it immediately hits the sandbank and falls apart. Carrion getting hit with the Blood Statue of Spite, Skeleton Horsemen just naturally crumbling away. So slowly the Tomb Kings are losing their mobility presence, and the Saurus are being allowed to rally. I appreciate disrupting this Ancient Salamander and forcing him to run around the map instead of shooting at you. I get that, but I don't know. It feels like you're just doing so little damage that we might as well have chased off the Saurus. Another Fate of Buna onto a Saurus Warrior that was not feeling the best. Maybe this one could have been a better target. It'll do good damage. The Tomb Kings are just really upset by these Saurus, apparently, and not very concerned about the single entities, which... Alright. You still have some Sporcle Stalkers, I guess, is his thinking. If you can just secure the Sporcle Stalkers, you can kite it out. I'm worried with their current HP, though, they might get outshot by the Feral Troglodon and the Ancient Salamander, which I guess is why the Tomb Kings are shoving all these resources into keeping these guys tied up at random garbage. They're just not taking damage very quickly, and I worry. As the Saurus continue to crawl back. Crawl back is an appropriate word, though. They're not feeling super great. Out of all the Saurus, we have one who's at about half HP, and everything else is just really close to dead. Ushabti still chasing these guys around, and Arkan even joins in on the fight. A little fireball onto him. He is on foot, making his HP pool small, but that Feral Troglodon's taking a lot of damage over time. It's slow and steady, and the Sporcle Stalkers are for once going to get a free shot on the Ancient Salamander, but they're a little slow to turn. Not the player's fault, just kind of a thing that happens. They're taking forever to figure their shit out and actually turn and fire. They get shot in the face by the Salamander, knocked back in place. A Blood Statue of Spite also going to deal damage to them, and they still have not fired. Now they're getting obstructed by their own Skeleton Horsemen. The Lizards are pulling further ahead on the balance of power. No Blood Statuettes left, no Banishments left. I don't know how much Winter Magic's left for the Slann either. The Sporcle Stalkers never got a shot off of that Ancient Salamander. They just stood around and stared ominously. Arkan does have Skeleton Summons for days. He has 4 of them left if he can get the cooldown off for him. Another Fireball going along the ground, going to hit Arkan in the face, does good damage to him. Still have a regular melee Ushabti, which is actually pretty scary this late into the game. There's no healing for him. Tomb King's army passive is burnt up, and Arkan doesn't have the Tomb King's lore passive for Lord Nahakara. They have good armor piercing versus the Saurus. They'll do okay. At this point, though, Sporcle Stalkers are shut down. Carrion are crumbling. Skeleton Warriors are crumbling. Ushabti are crumbling. It is really just Arkan versus the world. He throws out another Fate of Buna, this time onto the healthy Saurus Warrior. Should deal with the last of them. But at this point, I do think the Skirmish Skinks, the Skirmish Salamander, and Troglodon can easily kill Arkan by just delaying this game and poking him from a distance. The Tomb Kings successfully killed the entire Lizard army except for the ammunition on those guys. The ammunition should carry them through the game, so the Chosen of the Gods will get shut down. Arkan is now alone and running through the desert. Wow, with 3 Fate of Bunas onto Saurus, Arkan only got to 850 value? What the fuck? Feels like he should have gotten way more. Sporcle Stalkers really struggled getting shots off. Chosen the Gods did great. The other Ushabti Great Bow was also shut down. The melee Ushabti did fine. Skeleton Horsemen did okay. Carrion did okay. And then Skeleton Spears and Skeleton Warriors got shut down. The other side for Pigman is Fire Slann killed a lot of stuff. Troglodon got almost as much value as the Slann, which is pretty good. Ancient Salamander did struggle. And then the Saurus spam, not a lot of value. Umbrella's pretty good at shutting them down. Umbrella being Grandfather Earthquake's Discord that I'm used to. Skink Skirmishers were pushed around. Random skeletons or horsemen kept them on the back foot. Feral Coldons are shut down off screen. So, yeah. GG. The Ushabti not out-dueling the Troglodon and the Salamander was a big problem for the Tomb Kings, because then they just lost a lot of agency. Because they couldn't get the Sporcle Stalkers in range to trade with these guys, and then when they did, they just janked out so hard they couldn't fire at the Salamander because a couple little horsemen are in the way. So shit happens there. Chosen the Gods ground through Saurus, so did Arkin, but their single target artillery was either outranged or killed immediately.
Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.